At the very outset, let me begin by congratulating the 5th President of the Republic of Kenya and the 2nd Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya. Remember the old traditions that we had Vice Presidents as opposed to Deputy Presidents. So I pass my felicitations, or rather congratulatory message to the President and his Deputy, Rigathi Gachagua. Now, I also followed keenly. I was watching as the proceedings at Kasarani were going on, and I acknowledge that there was some very good promises that we had as members of the public from the President of the Republic of Kenya, Dr. William Ruto, and I agree to some extent that indeed there was some writing on the wall, especially following his declaration as the President-elect on the 15th day of August 2022, and subsequently following the confirmation or the validity of his election as the President on the 5th day of September by the Supreme Court of Kenya. So indeed there was some indication even prior to his inauguration as the President of the Republic, that he had some serious work to do, and he had deliberately told us that he has set some measures in place to ensure, first, that there is the promotion of the independence of the judiciary, and secondly, there is some deliberate measures that have been put to ensure the promotion of the independence of the National Police Service, the NPS. And of course, he had mentioned even previously that he had contrived some ways by way of executive orders that are going to be made to ensure that we reduce the cost of living as we know of it today. So really, it did not come to me as a shocker that what the promises that he gave previously were confirmed yesterday. No, what indeed was quite surprising to me, and of course, which sits well within me as a practicing advocate of the High Court of Kenya, and of course as a practicing constitutional lawyer, is that the speed at which he resolved to end the previous stalemate that we had between the executive and the judiciary as far as the promotion of the 6 judges is concerned. So that we can clarify to the viewers and to the listeners, is that we have 4 judges of the High Court of Kenya who were elevated 3 years ago by the Judicial Service Commission. But since their elevation, or the recommendation for their elevation to the Court of Appeal, there was a stalemate, because the president, the retiring president, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, had a feeling arising from some report that he had received from the National Intelligence Service, the NIS, touching on the credibility, or rather on some of the misconducts, if at all, from some of these judges. And again, I must mention that there was a deputy registrar who also sits in the capacity of a magistrate, by way of assisting judges in discharging their role and responsibilities as judges, who was also elevated to be sitting as a High Court judge. There was also a chief magistrate who was previously, and this is Mheshimiwa Makori, who was previously sitting as the chief magistrate in Mombasa, and subsequently transferred to Kericho, and who was also recommended to be elevated to the High Court. But since the report did not sit very well with those recommendations, the then president, the retiring president Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, had thought that these people did not be fit, or were rather not fit for the elevation to either the High Court or the Court of Appeal. So in a sense, it brought some discomfort, especially in view of what we understand to be the independence of the Constitution, the independence of the judiciary, and the independence of the constitutional commissions that we have. And this, to speak, is the Judicial Service Commission, because it's an independent commission which is charged with the responsibility of ensuring that we employ and we discipline judges and judicial staff as and when the need arises. So really, from where I sit, there is a sense in which I join others in celebrating the quick speed in which the President, Rais Ruto, has moved in ensuring that we have the elevation of these six judges to the position that they were elevated to. So, we must also look back into history. We must look back into what really were the reasons for the president refusing to appoint these judges, as it were. So that even while we jubilate on what has transpired, because I am actually in jubilation, and I'm actually expecting that we will be seeing in a short while the swearing in of these judges as judges of the Court of Appeal and the High Court. But one thing that we must ask ourselves, there was a live question that was, that was being litigated at the Court of Appeal. And this is to, what really is the role of the president, or is there a role of the president after the recommendation has been done to him by the Judicial Service Commission on the appointment of people or individuals as judges, either of the High Court, the Court of Appeal? That was the question, the live question.
And indeed,